All right, let's talk about Git and GitHub. If you've ever heard those words thrown around and just kind of felt your brain shut down, you are in exactly the right place. We're going to break this down, and I promise, by the end of this, it's all going to click.
And look at this. This is a post from a Reddit user. And honestly, it just hits the nail on the head, right? Lost as hell. It perfectly captures how so many people this stuff. But here's the thing. You are absolutely not alone in feeling this way. The core ideas are way, way simpler than they look from the outside.
Okay, so to really get what Git is, we first have to understand the problem it was designed to solve. And it's a problem we've all had. It's that fundamental, chaotic, headache-inducing nightmare of just trying to keep track of changes in a project. Doesn't matter if you're working by yourself or with a whole team.
Tell me if this looks familiar. Oh yeah, we have all been here, haven't we? You start with project_final. Then you make a few tweaks, and just to be safe, you save a new copy. project_final_v2. Then your boss gives you feedback, and suddenly you've got project_final_ for review. Before you know it, you're at project really final, and then the desperate project. Your folder just becomes this graveyard of confusing file names, and nobody has any idea which one is the actual final version. It's just total chaos.
Right, this whole mess. I mean, there has to be a better way, right? A way to track our changes intelligently without being terrified of breaking something and without our project folders turning into a complete and utter disaster. And thankfully, there is.
And that solution is this idea called version control. Now, don't let that technical-sounding name freak you out. At its heart, it's actually a really simple but incredibly powerful concept. The best way to think about it? It's like having a time machine for your work.
So what does it do? Simply put, it's a system that takes snapshots of your project whenever you tell it to. Think about what that means. You can experiment, you can delete a huge chunk of your code, and you can always, without fail, jump back in your time machine to a previous version that worked. The fear is gone.
And here it is. This is the analogy that makes it all click for most people. Just think about playing a video game. You're about to fight a huge boss. What's the first thing you do? You find that save point, right? You create a checkpoint. That way, if you mess up, you can just go right back to that safe spot. Version control is literally just creating save points for your work anytime you want. All right, let's tackle the big one. This right here is probably the source of 90% of all the confusion, so let's make this crystal clear. Git and GitHub are not the same thing. They work together, but they are two totally different things. One's the tool, the other is the place you use the tool. So let's start with Git. Git is the actual software. It's a program that you install and run on your own computer. It's the engine under the hood that's making all those video game save points, all those snapshots of your files. It's all happening locally, right there on your machine. GitHub, on the other hand, is a website. It's an online platform, a cloud service. It's the place you can go to upload a copy of your project, along with all its Git save points. It's basically the social network for your code. It's the central hub where you and other people can look at and work on the same project together.
Okay, you want the absolute simplest way to think about this? Here it is. Git is like Microsoft Word. It's the powerful program that lives on your computer that lets you do the work. GitHub is like Google Docs. It's the online platform where you upload that work and to collaborate with other people. See the difference? Git is the tool, GitHub is the hub.
Okay, so if GitHub is the hub for collaboration, how does that even work? I mean, how do you get a bunch of people working on the same files at the same time without just recreating that same project_final I swear mess, but online? Well, the magic ingredient, the absolute heart of collaboration on GitHub is something called a pull request. And what that is instead of you just going in and changing the main project, you're essentially raising your hand and saying, hey team, I've made some changes over here in my own safe copy. Here's exactly what I did. Could you take a look? And if you think it's good, can you pull my changes into the main project? And this whole workflow is just beautiful because it's so incredibly safe. Here's how it goes. First, you create what's called a branch. Just think of it as a safe copy of the project that only you can mess with. Then you do your work and you save your changes using commits. Yep, those are our video game save points again. When you're ready to share, you open a pull request to propose your changes. Your team can then review everything, leave comments, and only when everyone agrees and it gets approved do you merge it back into the main project. The key thing here is that the main project is never directly touched until every change is reviewed and approved. It's safe, it's organized, it's just a brilliant way to collaborate. Okay, so that's the what and the how. But why should you care about any of this, especially if you're not on some huge software team? Well, because learning Git and GitHub is about so much more than just managing files. It's become a really critical skill in the modern world.
For anyone in a technical field, your GitHub profile has basically become your modern portfolio. It is living proof of your work. It's a public record not just of the code you write, but of how you think, how you solve problems, and how you collaborate. Forget the old static resume. Want to see your real live work in action.
And when you start contributing to open source projects on GitHub, you start gaining this incredible real-world experience. You learn how to jump into a huge, complex project and find your way around. You get professional feedback on your work from experienced developers. You learn to collaborate with people from all over the globe, and you build the confidence that, yeah, you can contribute to real software that's being used by thousands, maybe even millions of people. It's a game changer for your career.
So, look at that. We've gone from feeling lost as hell to actually getting it. It all boils down to this. Git is the tool on your computer for making those save points, and GitHub is the website where you share that project and work together with others using that save process. It's a really powerful 1-2 punch.
The thing is, you now know more than enough to get your feet wet. You could go create a new project on GitHub for something you're working on, or you could even find an open source project you use and just fix a tiny typo in their documentation. The whole journey starts with one small, simple step. So the only question left really is, what are you going to build? Or what are you going to improve?